Happy Halloween, lore lovers! This is my favorite time of year. Leaves changing, darkness creeping in earlier and earlier, and everything spooky takes center stage. And to celebrate Halloween this year, I got you something.
What are you doing?
For Halloween, we agreed you would finally tell us about the Raccoon People.
Well, yeah, but why the mask?
Because Raccoon People? So why not you finally tell us about the Raccoon People?
Well, it started back in 2006. 14 years ago, I was dragged to a church function one November night by my friend Garrett. They were talking about the dangers of cell phones and how they're no longer allowed or something. I don't quite remember, I was playing on my phone. Anyway, after a few minutes, another of our friends showed up and asked if we wanted to check out this creepy place he had found. He didn't take us far. A few blocks away was the Alpine Highway. At the bottom of the gully was a turnoff that led to a bunch of fancy and rich houses. Driving a winding way about a half a mile, he pulled over. It was at the spot where all the mailboxes were for the houses. And off in the distance, barely visible from the overgrown brush, was a dirt road. We took the dirt road over an old wooden bridge, and it came to a clearing. Just looking out the window, it looked like a calm and eerie place. We didn't stay very long and drove away. I eagerly showed my best friend Kiefer this place, and we instantly fell in love with it. Even though it was fairly close to the busy road of the Alpine Highway, it was really quiet there. It was silence once you crossed the bridge. And everything seemed to be cast in a darker tone here. Even in the middle of the day, it was like perpetual twilight. Beyond the bridge was a small pathway that led to the large clearing I mentioned, and in the middle of the clearing was this massive tree. In front of the tree was a large humanoid sculpture made of scrap metal, all welded together of different pieces of different sizes of things. It was easily taller than either of us. The strangest part about this statue is that the body was human, but the head was that of a bird. And once we noticed this statue, scattered throughout the rest of the clearing were all the other statues of varying sizes of the same thing. There was also an old rusted down swing set and an old truck as well, just hidden. But we were focused on the statues. Who could have built these? Why did they build them? Somebody seemed nearly obsessed with these bird people statues. We imagined that when the statues were made, though, the metal was shiny. They surely had to be much more polished than they are now, rusting and being forgotten. And who likes shiny things and has thumbs?
You and Kiefer?
Well, yeah, but we were thinking raccoons. So we joked that raccoons made these statues and had a secret cult all of their own. Thus, we created the Raccoon People.
So there's no actual Raccoon People?
I'm getting to that. We would spend a lot of time here, always staying in the clearing. It was almost like it was becoming an addiction. Whenever we crossed that bridge, it was as if the stresses of the world just evaporated. Everything was calm, peaceful, perfect. We'd lose track of time while in there, sometimes spending minutes, sometimes spending hours. More and more when we weren't there, it felt as if the Raccoon People were beckoning us to return. Then, one evening in the summer of 2007, we both had this feeling we needed to go to the Raccoon People place. So Kiefer, his little brother, Garrett, and I returned. By this point, we never drove across the bridge. We always parked and walked across. Mostly because we were worried it would collapse on us one time, and we would all just be washed away in the river. Soon after coming into the hollow, we noticed a pathway we had never seen before. All of us agreed to go beyond the clearing, finally, and to see what else was out here. Winding away, losing sight of the clearing, we saw an old run-down chapel atop a hill. Just to the right of us were large stone slab stairs spiraling upwards to the forgotten church. Kiefer's brother and Garrett agreed not to go in there. They didn't want to be cursed. Kiefer and I laughed, joking that maybe we could finally sell our soul, and entered the church. Chains dangled from the ceiling, and small beams of light shone through from small holes in the roof. We couldn't see much else. It was a large room. The pews had been removed, shoving them up against the wall. And across the room was a stage. The stage had a lip on it, making what was hidden underneath pitch black. We took a few steps forward towards the stage, and the feeling of calm and peace had vanished. Fear was crawling in. We weren't supposed to be here. And something was mad that we were. The chains began swaying randomly, and a deep growl of a voice ordered, "Get him!" And it came from below the stage. Kiefer and I bolted, running as fast as we could out of the church. The others noticed our fright, something that rarely happened, and followed suit. We didn't dare look back, but we heard the dog growling and its stamping feet getting closer and closer to us. I was the slowest of them, and just as I felt the breath of the dog on the back of me, I stepped foot on the bridge, and it stopped. The noise and fear suddenly gone. We were safe. Looking back, we didn't see anything, or anyone. By this point, we all agreed to go home. But later that night, Kiefer and I snuck out. We had met up with a couple of girls when we had first noticed it. Just out of the light of a street lamp, there was a shadow figure staring at us. It stood there, not moving an inch, but we could feel its anger and death bore into us. The girls felt it too as they started to panic, and we all agreed to leave. For the next 3 days, that shadow figure followed Kiefer and I, watching us, studying us. Out of the corner of our eyes, it would always be there. And then, it vanished. We now knew the Raccoon People no longer wanted us around. A month later, Kiefer got in a car accident on his way to school and died on impact. That night, as I drove around aimlessly, trying to wrap my head around losing my best friend, I ended up at the crash site. And there it was, the shadow figure. It vanished as a car's headlights lit up the area. And ever since then, the figure has taunted me, always showing up when I least expected it.
Well, lore lovers, what do you think? Did the tale of the Raccoon People live up to the hype from this channel? Who do you think made those statues? Let me know what you think in the comments down below. And if you liked today's video, be sure to like and subscribe. And hit that bell notification icon to be alerted for when the next video becomes available. And be sure to share this video so others can learn about the Raccoon People. And until next time, happy Halloween, lore lovers!